be involved in the job I have in mind. Myself, and one other. And it'll be carried out on that basis." "Of course, General," said Jonathan, not once averting his eyes. "I want you to know that you can count on me and all I have in any venture you propose." "Thank you, John," said the General before turning back to face the other commanders. "You have 10 minutes to look through your folders, then I'll see each of you privately in the study to hear your initial thoughts. Analyze and memorize the contents of your folders. You will not be allowed to take them away with you." Without a backwards glance, the General headed out of the room. He didn't need to look back to know that Morgan, his PA, was following him, or to know that all eyes in the room were upon him. "What's wrong, General?" the PA asked once they were safely out in the hall, the door shut firmly behind them. "What makes you think something's wrong?" asked the General through narrowed eyes. Morgan didn't reply. He didn't have to. He had known the General for many years now, had even served in the same LM resistance cell as the General's brother. After all these years, Morgan reckoned he was perhaps the closest person the General had to a friend. "I want Jonathan Kidd put under 24-hour surveillance. I want his phone tapped and a tail put on him around the clock," said the General. "John worries me." "Yes, sir. I'll put our best people on it." "Good." The General made his way into the study. Just as he was about to close the door, he turned to Morgan. "You know what? I want all their phones tapped. Report anything suspicious to me." And he quietly shut the door behind him. Morgan watched the closed door with a frown. The General was a brilliant man, dedicated and utterly ruthless, but Morgan was growing increasingly anxious about his behaviour. This new offensive he was planning was by far the most audacious, not to mention the most ruthless, in the Liberation Militia's history. They were going to hit targets up and down the country within the same 72-hour time frame. And even Morgan didn't know the details of the General's personal project. He put good money on it being something spectacular, though. Spectacular and merciless. The General's philosophy was strike. Strike hard, and whilst your enemy was still reeling, strike again. Which of the General's life laws applied? Number 17. The only good cross is a dead cross? No. Probably number 18 was more apt. Ask and don't get, but demand with menaces and receive with equanimity. The General's life laws. A numbered series of rules that he lived by. He said they kept him alive. Morgan didn't have to wonder what had happened to make the General so single-mindedly focused on the LM. He was one of the very few who knew. The General was, without a doubt, the most successful of all the LM rulers in terms of making sure that the LM was never far from public consciousness, and he had the drive and determination to lead the LM. But to lead it where? Sometimes such single-mindedness could be as much of a curse as a blessing. When the General lay in bed night after night with just his thoughts for company, did doubts slink around him? Who did the General call on when he was troubled? The General was admired, respected, definitely feared, but he wasn't liked, not a bit of it. Everyone called the man Sir or the General, and in spite of their shared years together, Morgan certainly wouldn't dream of calling him anything else, at least not in front of others. The General had a number of passports and papers, each with false names and varying identities. But Morgan was one of a very select few who knew the man's real name. Jude. 3 months later.
These are the things I know for sure. My name is Callie Rose. No surname. I am 16 years old today. Happy birthday to me. My mum is Sephy Hadley, daughter of Kamal Hadley. Kamal Hadley is the leader of the opposition and a complete bastard. My mum is a cross and one of the so-called ruling elite. My dad was Callum McGregor. My dad was a Nought. My dad was a murderer. My dad was a rapist. My dad was a terrorist.